this time. Breaking down the stories, every view will unwind. From left to right, we'll see the light. It's balance, we're chasing, no fighters fight. Good is still be talking straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Good is something's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Good is still be keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay on while it's diving deep with Curtis. So be the combos you need. The combos you need. Insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis, I'll be keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, it's diving deep with Curtis. I'll be the convo's unique. Curtis, I'll be talking it straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis, I'll be here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis, I'll be keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, it's diving deep with Curtis. So be the combos you need. The combos you need. The combos you need.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is I, Curtis Selby, your tired midnight blogger. What blogs in this case? At 2:02 p.m. I will be doing a lot of talking about Renaissance fairs today, so I thought that this thumbnail would be mildly appropriate. I'll say hello to everyone in the chat, and then I will get right into pertinent news from northern Oklahoma. Hail and well met, Gorilla Sensor Thoughts. He's going to have to alter the rerun due to no power. Wanted to ask what happened to the Tuesday and Thursday streams. I have temporarily stopped doing them because I've been spending most of my time editing things down, trying to be in compliance with the YouTube gods. Matt Cheatwood, T-1 minute. Hail and well met. Hail, you weary travelers. I hope you are doing well. And I hope that you get to visit a Renaissance festival or two yourself this year. John Potterero, hail and well met. Thank you very much for your support, your links, and all the things you do for me. An accounting sheep, ahoy, good sir. Fair, hail and well met, not farewell. So tired. But anyway, let's dig into the news. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to start on a sad note. There was a very bad traffic accident near Ponca City this recently. According to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol report, a Pontiac did not yield at a stop sign and crossed in front of a Hyundai. Yes, the internet is determined to make me embarrassed. An Oklahoma Highway Patrol collision report states that a 2009 Pontiac and a 2023 Hyundai were involved in a crash around 11:45 p.m. near US 77 and Coleman Road, about 1 mile north of Ponca City. According to the report, the Pontiac did not yield at a stop sign and crossed in front of the Hyundai. Authorities said that the Hyundai hit the Pontiac on the driver's side. Both vehicles went into the center median. The Pontiac then caught fire, according to the collision report. The woman driving the Pontiac was pronounced dead at the scene. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol identified her as Shannon Laird of Ponca City. Both people in the Hyundai were taken to an area hospital where they were treated for minor injuries. So our prayers go out to them. And now I'm going to get into more lighthearted things. Sadly, I don't have a great transition from the grim to the more fun. I spent some time this weekend at a Renaissance festival in Blackwell, and I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun. I was very impressed. A counting sheet. Where did they find a 2009 Pontiac still in working condition? You can find all kinds of things like that in Oklahoma. But here we are. I'm going to play some things. I'm going to start with Birds of Prey. Let me get this shared. I just thought this was awesome, considering that it's a simple small town in northern Oklahoma that put this on. So I'll show you. Since it's my channel, hopefully YouTube won't ding me on that, because I'm going to tell you I will raise heck about that. But here we are, Birds of Prey at the Ponca City, or the Blackwell Renaissance Festival. So I'm here at the Renaissance Festival, pretending like I still have a personality. I'm going to share the Regalia International Birds of Prey. I'm going to share the show because, their show's their show. But just wanted to share how cool these things are. They're beautiful, beautiful owls.
It's fun. That's their cat dog.
I actually have demonstrated that during the show.
No, you're fine. Sorry.
We've got way too much tree cover here to actually demonstrate that, because she flies fairly low and her turn radius is about a quarter of a mile. So if I let her take off and she swooped past me, she would turn around on the other side of that church building, and there's not a clear point that she can sail through there. So at events like this, we don't get that much opportunity. In fact, a lot of these birds have actually flown during shows, but a lot of them have different types of flying styles, and the environments are not always accommodating to it. So here I come flying everything.
All right. So those were the Birds of Prey, and this will be the Knights fighting. I'm hoping that I've had enough time, because I know YouTube doesn't like violence, so we will hopefully not be dinged for this. This is Ashton, folks, on behalf of the Tired Midnight Lover. We're going to learn something about. It was too windy. I should have just kept my mouth shut. In fact, I think I'll mute it. Let you guys just watch it in peace. Come on, let's fight. Yeah, YouTube will ding me for that. Say that I'm threatening somebody. I wish that Howard Cosell. This is Howard Cosell, and we have knights thumping each other with pieces of metal. This one is down on his knees. He's down for the count. Now we're going to be shown a real show of chivalry. 2 knights against 1. It is indeed a fiasco of knights bashing each other with metal things. Well, you see, chivalry is all about a fair fight. Chivalry is all about a fair fight. Indeed, indeed. Ooh, wow, lots of people showing up. Okies will drive a car until the wheels fall off. Well, we have to. We can't afford a new one. Matt Cheatwood is getting on the board with the plan to rename Oklahomans to Oklahomies. PvP, Hail and Wilmette. He drives a 2003 Chrysler Concorde that still runs like a beast. He met in 1993. That's even more impressive. John Ponterera has a 2007 Buick, still going strong. And Gorilla Sensor Thoughts got limited power in his car. Alrighty. humanity. Maximus the Merciful. I don't know who that jerk is crying out there. He should just keep his dang mouth shut. All right. There it goes. That was enough fun for there. So there it was. That was the Renaissance Festival in Blackwell, small town in northern Oklahoma. Great place. And I'm having technical difficulties because why wouldn't I? I guess I'm going to have to undo that one. All right. Okay. PvP, gorillas, you got to feed the hamsters powering your car more often. Indeed, yes, that is true. So, my computer's doing weird things. Sorry about the technical difficulties here. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I want this. Here we go. Taking a look at the poll real quick. 67% of you like turtles. The other 33%. Pray tell, Sir Fool, who asketh, do you enjoy Ren fairs? And let's see. This is what I was trying to find. Sorry, I stumbled around so much for it. That was the gem of the Chikaskia Renaissance Fair in Blackwell. Ooh, yeah, I will be happy to look at that. Matt Cheatwood. Let me get through a few things and then we'll share that. That does look really cool. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is that there are not just the one in Blackwell, there are two major Renaissance festivals in Oklahoma. The first one that I shall share is the Renaissance Festival in Muskogee. Join us for the, this is the one in Norman. I'm so sorry. Join us for the 30th Annual Oklahoma Renaissance Festival, Saturdays, Sundays, and Memorial Day, April 26th through June the 1st, 10:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Now, this is the Oklahoma Castle. Yes, sorry. Okay. I am just not doing great today. So, phone number if you want tickets is 918-687-3625. That's once again through 918-687-3625. Or you can email them at info@okcastle.com. That is not Chuck Norris's email address. That is info@okcastle.com. You'll have a really good time there. The Blackwell Festival was pretty cool. This one is in an actual castle. They've got all kinds of spiffy things. The fantasy weekend, the romance weekend. I don't even know what that is. The pirate weekend, arg. The spice roads, the imperial weekend, the Celtic weekend. The royal events from sunup to sundown. Castleton offers unique experiences you won't find anywhere else. Savor fine spirits at our royal tastings. Join the revelry of the pub crawl. Sip tea with the queen. Or indulge in debauchery at the King's Smoker. For those seeking adventure, immerse yourself in a brand new RPG experiences where epic tales unfold before your very eyes. As night falls, festivities continue. Dance your evening away at the Mask Ball. Join the Pirate King for a feast, or celebrate with music and camaraderie at the Khalid. There is something for everyone. Discover more about each event. Yeah, that's on this website at okcastle.com. And as I was saying before, there is also the Norman Renaissance Festival. Too many tabs. So, the 2025 Medieval Fair in Norman opens Friday, April the 4th through Sunday, April the 6th. Reeves Park, 2501 Jenkins Avenue in Norman, Oklahoma, 73072. Again, that is at Reeves Park, 2501 Jenkins Avenue, Norman, Oklahoma, 73072. They have actual jousting. They have all kinds of spiffy things. Accessible parking available on the west side of Reeves Park off Jenkins near the Castle Playground. Bus and large group drop-off as at the north end. Dogs and pets are allowed, but I have taken one there, and it is true because of the large size, you just have to have a leash and have a very well-behaved dog. But it is a fun place to take one. And the fair itself is free. I have heard that it is one of the larger free events in this part of the United States. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and all kinds of special events going on there. The medieval fair lecture series that was canceled. Well, never mind. The standard to rouse the people against foreign domination, Agnes Sorel and the 100 Years' War in 19th century French song. That event is February the 21st. That's already done. So they have a bunch of stuff that's already happened. Great for them. Okay. Anyway, there it is. The Norman Festival. Festival. Let's see what's going on in the chat. That's exactly what Oklahoma looked like in the medieval days. Yes, indeed so. Hey, Dadman Walken, hail and well met. Welcome, and I hope you are doing well. Someone can stop hitting the feeder line. PvP, I got to step away a while, have a few errands to run. May pop back in if you're still going on later. I try to keep these down to an hour, but I've got a lot to relate today, so who knows what kind of craziness I'll be doing. Matt Cheatwood has been to the Castle of Muskogee once. It's way overpriced, but not horrible. I would agree. I think it is a bit overpriced, but having said that, it's really fun. So, and med fairs are indeed fun. Norman Bates Fair, July 2025 highlights: shower jousting. And hello to Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Oh, I'm sorry I missed you. Hello, Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Welcome. We're talking about the events going on in northern Oklahoma. Now that I've covered the Renaissance festivals, we have also the Botanic Garden at OSU Herb and Succulent Festival. Sadly, I used to ask women out with the word succulent. For some reason, I didn't get many dates, but the ones I got were pretty fascinating. Anyway, the garden, Botanic Garden at OSU is the location. Date is April 26, 2025. The address is 3300 West 6th Avenue in Stillwater, Oklahoma, 74074. The phone number is 405-744-5000. Phone number again is 405-744-5000. It is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on April the 26th and is free to enter. Oklahoma's just got to get better at marketing. Anyway, so there it is. Events going on at Stillwater. Spring is coming. So is the Herb and Succulent Festival. Walk around and enjoy the scenery of beautiful flowers and stop in the greenhouse to pick out your own succulents and herbs. So if you like plants at all, and I'm thinking about starting a garden, come and see what they've got. All right. What we got going on in the chat? You can't just tell a woman she's succulent. You have to also use the words moist and yogurt. Yeah, I learned that, but it was, by then it was almost too late, and I was already over 40-some. So, all right. What else? We also have the 32nd annual Ponca City Herb Festival. So we have Renaissance festivals and we have herb festivals. So if you like plants and knights hacking each other to tiny bits, northern Oklahoma is definitely the place to be. This is at the Can Memorial Botanical Gardens. It is a beautiful place, kind of out there in Ponca on 14th Street. 1500 East Grand Avenue, Ponca City, Oklahoma, 74601. It is 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, June the 7th. although I had heard that it was the 1st, but according to the website, it is June 7th. The Ponca City Herb Festival is held the first Saturday in June each year with free admission on the grounds of the beautiful Can Memorial Botanical Gardens, 10-acre showcase of exquisite landscape architecture. You will enjoy the radiant colors and aromas of blooming flowers, brick walkways, water features, and a variety of ornamental plants, shrubs, and trees during your visit to the festival. Sometimes when I'm at work, I just take my lunch there. It's a beautiful place to go. More than 100 vendors from Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Colorado, and Arkansas have rows of fresh herbs, plants, vegetables, primitive birdhouses, not futuristic Jetson birdhouses, yard and garden ornaments, quilts, arts and crafts, antiques, herbal vinegars and oils, handmade baskets, candles, jams and jellies, soaps, furniture, stoneware, the Professor Ann, Mary Ann, and more for sale. The Ponca City Herb Fest also features entertainment, children's activities, food truck seminars for festival attendees. Past topics have included growing and using herbs, garden recipes, wildflowers, Sharon calling wildflower, herbal products, pollinator plants, beekeeping, herbal infusions for beverages, and world conquest and domination. Providing one of Ponca City's most well-attended and well-organized functions of the year, the proceeds from this event are used to support the Survivor Resource Network Incorporated. And here they have a spiffy map of the place. It's right near the Pioneer Woman Museum. It's right off of that 14th Street place thing. It's just right there. So there we go. And let's get caught up on the chat. Make sure you're drooling when you say it too. Women love that. Matt Cheatwood, they do if you're overweight and bald like me. You can't go wrong. And now counting sheep, I am. This is great news. Gorilla Sister thought, PvP, can you let Germ and Picky know it might not have Cinema Sunday due to rolling blackouts? And we send prayers out to Gorillas. I'm sorry that you're having blackouts. That sucks. I'm so professional. Okay, so let's go to Oklahoma today just to see what's going on with other events. I'm probably almost done with events anyway. Weekly events calendar, March 24th through 30th. So these are all things that have already happened, but just some of them aren't finished. Pawnee's Most Wanted. This is going on through April 27. $7 tickets that you can get at okhistory.org. Well, partner, maybe this town is big enough for the both of us. Pawnee's Wanted, Dead or Alive showcases the state's most infamous outlaws. I am in none of these mugshots. And archival photos from the FBI and historical collections. Step into no man's land where lawlessness reigned. Whiskey towns thrived, and the Wild West was full of unsolved mysteries. Set against the backdrop of Pawnee Bill's historic ranch, where bison roam and history comes alive, this special exhibit brings the frontier to life. Tour Pawnee Bill's mansion, explore the museum, and catch the exhibit before it closes April 27th. Got about a month or so to go. This is Bell Star and some dude from the Dalton gang. So one of my great-grandparents got shot in the leg running a posse trying to catch the Dalton gang. And I guess that Bell Star was quite the item. Outlaws evidently don't have very much taste in women. But anyway, turtle power. Lights, camera, action. This one is done, so I won't advertise that one. This one is also done. This one is also done. This one is done. And so there it is. Those are the events that are still actually happening in northern Oklahoma. So if you have any events going on, please feel free to let me know at curtiswslb@gmail.com. and I will personally insult your event. No, I will personally advertise. Sorry, Cassie let me know that I had that wrong. Your event, and hopefully get a couple of people to come out and see you folks. Gorilla Cinch thoughts you might want to invest in some solar panels or a generator system. Counting Sheep Woman Museum. I think I went there once. The exhibits all rejected me, but the floors were spotless. Indeed. I'm going to try this one more time, and then I'm going to advertise for some poor random person that never did me wrong and review some of these videos that people say are spiffy, and we shall see what they have to say. The K News Cow starts off with the Ponca City woman that was killed. We've already discussed that one. Sheriff Radio Longs. There was some more here earlier. Here we go. This is what I wanted to look at. If the thing will open. I don't know if it will. Last time I tried to open it and it just kind of frowned at me and locked a lot of stuff up. So I may not be able to get that to open. Nope, I won't be able to get that to open. I'm going to just have to stop playing with the News Cow, which is sad because I like the News Cow. But at any rate, there's a transparency legislation moving to the Senate. I don't have any details really right now, except that the computer is not liking what they're trying to get me to download. And the Attorney General, I do want to exit the setup. Yes. Attorney General Jenner Drummond praised the Oklahoma House for passing House Bill 2163, a critical piece of legislation aimed at strengthening government transparency and public access to information. Fortunately, though, I have no access to that information. So, job well done. Well done, police and all that stuff. So, Gorillas is in a similar boat to me. He can't afford that, nor can I. I really wish I had a generator, but it's going to be a minute before I can get one. And Hail and Wilmette, Resolute Germ, I have been telling people about all the spiffy stuff going on in northern Oklahoma, and now I'm going to advertise for some poor innocent person that never did me wrong and probably scare customers away from them. Let's see, I want to use this one. I don't think that's doing anything anyway. It's supposed to be streaming at Rumble too, but I don't think anything's going on over there. It says that there's a couple people there. Let me know if that actually is working. Meanwhile, I'm going to look up. Oh, yep, somebody's there. It is working, or at least somebody's there. John Ponterero is checking out the Rumble, the Green Machine. I got to learn. It's the Green Machine. Because YouTube doesn't like us to talk about the competition. You can talk about Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, but not the Green Machine. We don't like it. So, I need hold music. There it is. We'll see how Facebook wants to treat me today. Hopefully I can get this done quickly enough. In fact, I may not even share it. I may just talk about it because that way I might get through it. Canada's canines at Whiskey Flats. Please, if you are wanting a puppy and just would like to have a Great Dane or a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, these are great, sweet puppies raised by people who love their dogs, take care of them like they're part of the family, and are very particular about who gets them. They come with AKC regs and vet records. And you can reach out to them at Sonja Canaday, that's SONJA CANADAY at yahoo.com. Sonja Canaday, SONJ, not G, J, SONJ ACANADAY at yahoo.com. And the phone number for this poor person that never did me wrong. Очень интересно. is Gary Kennedy, and his phone number does exist, I promise. And it is at 580-763-3846. That phone number again is 580-763-3846. So check them out if you are in the market for a Great Dane or Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, because King Charles needs the advertisements. His popularity is really plummeting. All right. So there's one of my, perhaps my only pretend advertisement. So John Ponderero is saying, hail and 5x5. Thank you very much. And Germ Cinema Sunday will be iffy due to power feeder line is down and rolling blackouts. Gorilla Sense Thoughts, you can get a small standby generator for about $2,000, and I may get one next year. Right now, I can't afford one. Not just yet, but maybe next year. Accounting sheet, do you have any that are a little bit less sweet? I'm watching my blood sugar. All right. Well, one of my friends and I have been talking about the interview that was done on Fox News between, that reporter guy, the guy reports stuff, and he's a guy, Brett Baer, and he was interviewing Elon Musk and other members of the Doge team. I did not know that there were so many billionaires that were on this thing, and I did not know that there were this many billionaires. Well, anyway, one side will say that they're trying to steal all of our money, and one side will say that they're trying to save the republic. Accounting sheep, dog eating jokes. You'll be monetized in no time. Indeed, yes, I will be. All right, let's share. I can only share a little bit, of course, because YouTube, but I will share. Jake, no, not that one. Although I could share that one too. But Elon Musk and the Doge team. Here's like 8 freaking billionaires out there trying to do stuff. Now, let's see what this gentleman has to say.
The reason I'm here, which is probably for many, is that I think the goal is incredibly inspiring. I think most of the taxpayers in the country would agree that in order to have the country going bankrupt would be a very bad thing, and therefore the country going not bankrupt is a good thing. That all of us are willing to kind of put our lives on hold in order to do. I think the thing that's special right now is we actually believe there's a chance to succeed, that there's an administration that's supportive and a great cabinet and just a great group that will actually make success a possible outcome. And I think that's, given the inspiring mission and given the non-zero chance of success, it was worth doing.
So what do you think about that? We have a billionaire here saying that we have a great administration and a great team. We are told different things from different people. Let me know what you think in the chat. If that is so, do you think it is possible? Do you think it's a good thing? Or do you think, like one of my friends once said, that as long as we want a good military, we're going to have to accept deficit spending? There is no hope of not having it. Please let me know in the chat. And I will skip ahead a bit. Let's see. I think I want to share what this gentleman has to say. And he's talking about the Iron Mountain, which I have personal experience with. Not that I've ever been there, but I worked at a company that also kept their items at the iron mine.
To turn over.
We're working as fast as we can. Probably next couple of months we'll have this overhauled. And I really think, again, like, why are we subjecting our federal workers to processes that they actually have to go through a training just to retire from the government? There's a whole training program that people have to go through in order to retire. I think we can do better for them.
Aram Moganasi, Doge engineer. You go into these places, one of the more than a dozen engineers, first people to go into the agencies and view the computer data sets. tell me what you're finding. And for people who don't understand how that process works, explain it for them.
Okay, now before I go any further than this, I was wanting to point out that we were told extensively that the fault of all this stuff was, well, maybe not all this stuff, but some specific things was this COBOL language, and that these people obviously didn't understand COBOL. They were too stupid to understand that there was an old, outdated language, which is funny because I'm one of the worst techs ever, and I get it, but these guys don't. And there's no possible way that any people are getting checks because it automatically stops those when they hit that age or whatever. But my problem with that is, what's your source? Who's saying that the checks automatically stop? How do we know that? I don't know that. Hello, Jim's Landscape, Commodore Communications Productions. Wonderful gentleman here. Welcome, welcome. Doge is absolutely failing. They need to cut way more than they have so far. Interesting. You are literally the first person to come out and say that, but I respect your thought there. And it's funny because everybody that I talk to on the other side, oh, they're cutting way too much. I think that's interesting. Jim's Landscape is sharing a video of where he is getting his hair cut. Awesome sauce. Matt Cheatwood says the IRS needs to go, the feds need to go, most of the federal agencies need to go. Matt Cheatwood says there are more than 2,000 federal agencies. With that context, heck yes, I would agree. I don't know how many agencies we need, but I was thinking that 400 was too much. 2,000 is definitely, in my humble opinion, right out. So let's see what this gentleman has to say about all these computers that can't talk to each other because they have primitive systems from the 70s and early 80s and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'll say the first thing that got me really excited about Doge was learning basically the state of government computers. By some estimates, government IT costs about $100 billion, and it's funding systems that are over 50 years old in the case of something like Social Security or the IRS. So really critical systems are old. They cost a lot of money to maintain, and they can be, the efforts to improve them are often very delayed. So I thought, I'm a software engineer that maybe could make a difference here, and that's really what inspired me at a high level.
There's a lot of mystery about Social Security and a lot of words about it here's what Democrats have been saying about it.
It's absurd that Elon Musk is trying to eliminate billions of dollars from Social Security.
Elon Musk is trying to eliminate billions of dollars from Social Security. Film at 11. Gorilla Sense Thoughts. I'm one we break legs notice on a pill. Matt Cheatwood, the national debt will destroy the economy very soon unless drastic cuts are made now. I agree. LDG Free the Net. Hail and well met. Please, I haven't been recognizing creators on this one. My apologies, but please check out LDG Free the Net. He is developing that app. I would be curious to know how close he is, and let us know what we can do to help. LDG Free the Net. We are going to get the net restored to the people instead of the big tech giants. The interest alone on the national debt is more than our entire defense budget. Yes, I have heard this. And that scares the crap out of me. Oh, no, that's not the one I'm sharing. This is the one I'm sharing.
Musk and President Trump have set their sights on cutting Social Security.
Their goal is clear: destroy Social Security from within.
You're in the building. I mean, you're in the computers. What's happening there? What are you doing?
Yeah, it doesn't line up with my experience on the ground. And I'll say the two improvements that we're trying to make to Social Security are helping people that legitimately get benefits, protecting them from fraud that they experience every day on a routine basis, and also make the experience better. And I'll give you one example is at Social Security, one of the first things we learned is that they get phone calls every day of people trying to change direct deposit information. So when you want to change your bank account, you can call Social Security. We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters.
40%.
That's right. Almost half.
Yes, and they steal people's Social Security is what happens. Is they.
So, what do you guys think about that? Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. At least the way they describe it here, it is. Essentially, we pay it in, and so, I mean, I don't know that 40% of it's going out, but 40% of the calls coming from fraudsters, one, I'll believe that, because I have a fair amount of experience myself with fraudsters. And if there isn't a lot of security in the details of it, the fraudsters are going to take advantage of it. Matt Cheatwood, it only works as long as the population continually grows. Yeah, and we're not growing naturally. I'll put it that way. We were growing when we were getting tons of illegal aliens in, but not so much now. I hate to get in trouble with YouTube, but I'm going to play one more minute and then skip ahead to one more thing. And then I'm going to share a little bit from the video that Matt Cheatwood shared with us.
If they call in, they say they claim to be a retiree, then they convince the Social Security person on the phone to change where the money's flowing. It actually goes to some fraudster. This is happening all day, every day. And then somebody doesn't receive their Social Security. It's because of all the fraud loopholes in the Social Security system.
How do you reassure people that what you all are doing is not going to affect their benefits?
No, in fact, what we're doing will help their benefits. Legitimate people, as a result of the work of Doge, will receive more Social Security, not less. I want to emphasize that. As a result of the work of Doge, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
All right.
I want to emphasize that point and let the record show that I said this, and it will be proven out to be true. Let's check back on this in the future.
So Washington Post, the Social Security Administration website crashed 4 times in 10 days this month because the servers were overloaded, blocking millions of retirees and disabled veterans from logging into their online accounts. Freaked people out. Is that going to change?
Yes, we're going to make sure that the website stays online.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to repair the system. Okay, so Matt Cheatwood, it's a Ponzi scheme because they do not save our money that we pay in. It immediately gets paid to the people drawing payments. Exactly. When the population stops growing, there are not enough people paying in to cover all the payments going out. Accounting Sheep says outsource Social Security to the insurance industry. They'll run it better. And Deep Zach, hail and well met, popping in to say hello and check things out. Thank you very much. We've talked a little bit about what's going on in northern Oklahoma. Now I'm trying to share some more nationally relevant-ish things. I didn't really feel like talking about Signal anymore because, frankly, the people that are on one side don't care, and the people on the other side are outraged and are not going to hear a word that's being said. So I'm kind of done talking about that. I wanted to talk about Doge, and then Matt Cheatwood has shared a video. I have not watched it, but I would love to share a little bit of it because I love the guy who is in the video that he shared. So, okay, let's cost cutting. I want to get to one specific thing. I think this is the part. I hope. Okay.
Yeah.
It does. I think there's some real evil out there, and we have to overcome it.
I mean, you have been called a Nazi, a white supremacist, a fascist.
I mean, they've got the sort of their
just to
normal
name
playbook.
a few. Yeah.
I mean, they've still got it. They haven't. I guess they still need to call me Stalin, Mussolini, whatever, Genghis Khan, or whatever. I mean, they've called the president all these things. I think at one point there was a magazine cover which said President Trump was worse than Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin combined. The president hasn't killed anyone. He hasn't started any wars. In fact, he's good at stopping wars. So this is obviously, they're pushing these lies. And why do they push these lies? And I think that we need to hold people responsible for pushing these lies, because those lies almost got the president killed.
What's something that people wouldn't know about the president? You're pretty close to him now. You spend a lot of time with him. What's something that people wouldn't know?
I think the president is a good man. I think he is an honest man. And I've yet to see him do anything mean or anything that is wrong, that I would say morally wrong. Not even once.
You know, a lot is.
Now, I wanted to share that because that's one, that's a very strong statement. And two, I don't know if you noticed, but that sounds quite a bit different from the Elon Musk from 2 or 3 years ago. Now, maybe Trump has him hoodwinked. Maybe this is part of the cult thing that people say is going on. Or maybe it's true. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. But I just think that it's interesting that since he's gotten close to Trump, he says more positive things, way more positive things than he had ever said before. And I think that's interesting. Deep in Zach, Signals was a Rush album, right? I believe so. I believe so. So now let's share. Our friend Matt Cheapwood has shared this. And again, I have not listened to it, although I keep meaning to. So we're going to share this together. We've got about 13 minutes or so, although I'm not going to be, I don't think I'll ever be perfect about this, but Oliver Anthony's speech at the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. And it's going to be awfully tempting to just play the whole dang thing out. Matt, if you have any suggestions on timestamps that need to be played, let me know. But I'll start out just at the beginning and see what he has to say to us. This, as probably most of you know, was the gentleman who sang Rich Men North of Richmond, which profoundly spoke to a lot of us down here in the Midwest, South, wherever the heck you want to say we're at.
Time. I've only got a few minutes here, so I've written some things down so you don't have to listen to me ramble, but there is an evil.
Side note, that is a real beard. That's the way a beard's supposed to look. All right. So, anyway.
I have seen under the sun, the sort of error that arises from a ruler. Fools are put in many high positions, while the rich occupy low ones. I have seen slaves on horseback, while princes go on foot like slaves. Since August of 2023, I have received a flood of messages, social media, email, handwritten letters. I've had, I don't know how many conversations with people face to face, probably thousands at this point. And I realize now that we don't have any clue to how many around us are really broken, how many are silently suffering and barely hanging on. More often than not, they start the message with, "Hey, I'm a nobody, but..."
Yeah, no, that's beautifully well put. That's very poetic right there. Just off the top of my head, without doing a lot of analysis, but you know, just arbitrarily pushing the mute button for no good reason. For a long time, especially when I was in my darkest point in this journey some time back, it seemed as though this system was deliberately being designed or redesigned to crush us, to break our spirits and make us think that there was no hope and that essentially we should just do our job, pay our bills, and go, pass away. I have to be careful on YouTube. But no, I think he's spot on with that. There are thousands, especially in the areas where his singing has had the most impact, that don't know where to turn, don't know who to trust, basically feel like, and I would say they are likely right, that the system is gamed against them, and they don't know what to do about it. Let's see what Oliver has to say about that.
Followed by horrors of addiction, mental illness, financial and household struggles, oftentimes incredibly complicated stories that I suspect they may have never told anyone before. But they still have hopes of a hopeful future, and they don't want to give up no matter what. And it kills me because these people, they aren't nobodies, as they describe themselves. Our modern society's convenient, comfortable, fragile little existence is oftentimes carried on the backs of these self-declared nobodies. And forgive my generalization, but in the modern world, we are so busy idolizing the genuine nothings of society, the self-centered celebrities, spineless politicians, clickbait social media influencers. It seems from my perspective that oftentimes these people live comfortable little lives while many of our real heroes are dragged through the mud and never once given a genuine thank you for it.
Yeah, that's genuine. That's genuine. Depenzak, a new system with a new world with new problems. Yeah. But it is true. I think that the people that really make the people on high come up with all these programs. This is the one place, I haven't talked about it, but this is the one place where I'm willing to actually listen to people criticizing Doge. All too often in the corporate jobs that I've had, somebody comes down with some new program, some new project, some new system, and it's gonna work. It's gonna get better. There's gonna be some growing pains, but it's gonna work and it's gonna get better. And then 4 years later, they either end up scrapping it, or basically things never get better. They just never do. And somehow people make it work anyway. They adapt to the machines instead of the machines being adapted to them. They make it work. They keep things from collapsing. And their thanks usually is not praise, not a bonus, not some time off. Usually it's some kind of insult, some kind of backhanded, you're some dummy, and they go off to the strip joint to go get drunk. You have to stay the night and work a 24-hour shift to make it get done. If you really want to know why MAGA got to where it's at, if you want to say that all these people have been lied to, that's possible. But this is what caused it to roll. Matt Chewood is commenting, somehow in the old system with the same old problems. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's see what else Oliver is saying. This old man on his phone, that'll be me in just a couple more years, probably minus the suit.
But it's not just them that are hurting. We all are. I mean, that's why you're here at this conference, right? That's why people have traveled from all over the world to gather here. You all realize that it's time to do something. So to set the record straight, I'm not here as an intellectual or a psychologist or a politician or even a respected member of society, all things considered. I'm a high school dropout who lives in a log cabin in the woods in Virginia. I myself am just a 32-year-old nobody. So I'm just here today as the messenger. I believe that many of the problems identified at this conference are quite possibly symptoms of a bigger problem. We currently exist in an age of rapid digital immersion. The current average American teenager will have spent something like 30,000 hours by the time they are 30 on social media. The average American spends 6 to 9 hours a day staring at devices. And whether it's a city sidewalk, a family dinner table, the receptionist at an office, even people driving their damn cars down the roadway, I constantly see the struggle between maintaining conscious attention in the real world and the overwhelming pull we feel towards the digital one. And in
this too is highly relevant, and especially I find it almost as bad as it's ever been as I'm trying to get monetized, because I now more or less ought to be keeping on top of my social media, and I'm doing a terrible job with it. But I find that if I stay on top of it like I ought to, it's just too much. It's anxiety ridden. You feel like you're controlled by this big thing. And I'm not saying that to get you guys to stop sending me messages. Please keep sending them. My apologies if I know I respond too slowly, but I love all of you, and I want to keep in touch with you guys. But I hope you understand if I am slow to respond, it's just that I'm getting overwhelmed. Having said that, I don't want to give up. I want to keep going down this journey, because I hope that I'm helping people, and I don't want to just lay down and quit in spite of, the way things are. Let's see what else Oliver Anthony has to say here.
In my unprofessional opinion, neuroplasticity has made us increasingly digitally proficient, but at a cost of being digitally dependent. And if being hired on as a London cab driver can change your brain on an MRI scan, and if life experiences like PSD can alter the DNA in sperm, what irreversible alterations will 30,000 hours of staring into algorithmically fed state of hypnosis do to the human mind or to their offspring? And in this short breath of time, we live in a state of existence that quite possibly no one else in world history has. We have both access to instant global connectivity, infinite information, and consumer-level access to artificial intelligence, but we're the last few humans in world history who remember what life was like before it. We are the last living people in history to have experienced life before the digital age. And I fear that it may become nearly impossible for younger generations to even differentiate the digital world from the real one before the end of my lifetime.
What do you think about that? I do think that's a threat as well. It seems like more and more people, myself included, we're just immersed into this. We get to thinking more and more about what's going on in the video game that I'm playing, or what's going on in the TV show that I'm watching, or what's going on in this social media group. And there's drama in this social media group, and so-and-so's lying to so-and-so, and so-and-so doesn't know who's lying to who, and you don't know who the good guys are, and you just hope that you've either guessed who the real good guy is, or if you failed, you've done a minimal amount of damage in the meanwhile. Matt Cheatwood says the Amish will survive. And they and the atomically altered roaches will probably end up ruling the world when the post-apocalyptic time comes. Let me play 1 or 2 more minutes of Oliver Anthony, and I will call it a stream, partly because it's been an hour, and partly because I know if I play all of this, YouTube will ding me. They probably will anyway. So let's see what else he has to say.
There is nothing inherently wrong with technology. There is nothing wrong with instant connection. And there is nothing intrinsically bad about access to abundant information. But what is bad is the lack of control and agency we have over these systems. And without realizing it, we are being programmed, and our culture is becoming commodified. Therefore, the more time we spend on these digital information systems, the more we revert to the mean of one of a fixed set of broad internet cohorts. In other words, the more time we spend online, the more commoditized our culture, the more tribal our psychology, and the more vulnerable we become. When the floods first came to Western North Carolina last year, where I used to live, there were tens of thousands of people who showed up to help from all over the country. No one asked them, no one paid them, and most of the world has no idea they were ever even there. I was there the same day that the governor of North Carolina came for his little photo op. He made a public announcement that day saying that the current statewide death toll with the floods. Oh, I'm sorry. He made a public announcement that day with the current statewide death toll of the floods. But that same morning alone, volunteer veterans with cadaver dogs that I had met with had pulled 15 bodies out of a single pile of debris near the KOA campground in Swannanoa. The statewide count at that point had to have been well into the hundreds. I believe the number the governor used that day was 28. In fact, there was a reefer truck that sat for 2 days full of bodies because the morgues were overflowing.
And the news has reported nothing about that. The uncontacted tribes in the Amazon will be fine. And you know what? Yeah, Gorilla, since I think I will. I'll have a stream. Let me know what you guys would like me to talk about, or if not, I'll come up with something. I think I have an idea of what I want to talk about, but let me know, like in social media or wherever, if you guys have any ideas, and I'll be happy to talk. Connie Cleary, sorry he's late. Didn't realize the time. No, it's okay, Connie. I know you are busy. This woman helps out so many people. It's amazing and incredible. I was going to say that I didn't want to watch the whole video, but I think I will. But I'm going to cut it into pieces in a vague effort to not be dinged by YouTube. And if they ding me, I'll edit it out later. Okay.
And while FEMA was hoarding donated generators and denying people on their applications, it was the nobodies of the world that were driving ATVs and Jeeps with chainsaws up mountain roads rescuing people. There was 2 guys we met that hot-wired a bulldozer from a quarry to cut a navigable path through a washed-out road in 2 days that the state said would take months, allowing supplies to people who hadn't had contact with anyone in over a week. Volunteers were working 16 hours a day, taking supplies on everything from horses to helicopters. It was humanity there in front of my very eyes. And it was in that 7 days in North Carolina that changed everything for me.
Maximum Vicky, hail and well met. I've only been on for 15 minutes. Hail and well met. Welcome, welcome. It is so good to see you. The nobodies built a road in 2 days. It's like I was saying, the people that I'm talking about, they take these crappy, ruined, botched systems, and they somehow they make things happen, and they keep things from falling apart, but they don't get thanks. They get insults if they're lucky. And this is Vicky Alcorn, and I'm going to be good on my channel, but I like the kitty. That's all I'm going to say. Vicky! All right. Oliver Anthony's speech that left 4,000 people stunned.
It was people saving people. Even with lack of leadership, failed protocols, and overwhelming inefficiency from the state, the nobodies took up the slack. And so I'm just here to remind you that we don't need our false idols. We should no longer rely on politicians who bow down to money to manage our city or our states. We need to find the real leaders everywhere and empower them. Western North Carolina was proof to me that there is an army of good people left in this world who want to do good things. We just have to give them places to gather and give them the ability to act.
That's incredible. And I will play the last minute here in a bit, but I just think that this is incredible. Thank you so much. Words and Picture. Hey, Kurt Snall, I guess you guys know this. Oliver Anthony has some great songs on his channel. He does. I love his songs. Yeah, I love his songs. This guy knows what he's talking about. He does. He does. He's talking about things from personal experience, and I don't doubt that I've got friends who will want to fact check this, but with respect, they can blow it out their ears, because when you're talking to someone who's actually been there in the field and in the thick of it, those are the people I want to listen to, not MSNBC or Fox or any of those people. Matt Chewood, I think a lot of people need to hear that we don't need permission to do what needs to be done. That is I think that's the comment of the afternoon right there. We don't need their permission. We can go and get it done. Let's finish this, and then I'm going to call it a stream. I hope y'all have enjoyed your time. Hey, anyway. Sorry, I'm easily distracted. Squirrel!
And so I close with this. Do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong, for like the grass, they will soon wither. Like green plants, they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And so I'll see you on April the 5th in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, for the first official gathering. It is now my life's mission to revive rural America one town at a time. It's called the Rural Revival Project. So thank you for listening.
That was incredible. Thank you so much, Matt, for sharing that. I'm so glad that I took the time to play that. And again, if YouTube dings it, I'll edit it out because I'm trying to play ball, but I'm glad that we got to listen to it here as a community. Matt Cheatwood, we don't have to wait and hope the government will handle the problem. We can do it ourselves. And that is at least part of what I want to share on this channel. I know people get upset that I got too political and this and that, but that's been my whole point, has been we don't have to rely on the government. We can do what we can do right where we're at. And it may seem like it's not enough, and maybe it isn't, but at the end of the day, that's what's going to make the difference, if anything is. I'm glad you liked it, Vicky. Thank you so much. I want to do this for you people. I want you guys to have a good time and also to learn some things. This was better. I was less prepared than I meant to be, but I think it ended up better than I had planned. Thank you again. It's because of you people. When you contribute things, it makes it so much better. I'm going to go ahead and say hello and thank you to everyone in the chat. And then I'm going to call it a stream. I'm not going to play music on this one. I need to come up with some newsy type ending. Whatever they used to play on the news. Thank you very much. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. A very, very strong pillar of my community. I know. As per his request, I will stream something on Tuesday. Let me know if you have a better idea. I'm thinking about talking about the polarization that we still have, and is there anything that can be done about it, or are we just stuck in our tribes? Matt Cheatwood, thank you very much. As always, you're incredible. You come up with some wonderful things. Thank you for being out there. Thank you for being strong. I hope you all are doing well. John Ponterero, thank you very much. Your prayers, your links, your sense of humor, sharing out music, it's all appreciated, and you are a wonderful human being. Accounting Sheep, you are a wonderful human being. I know you are going through some trials of your own at the moment. My prayers are going out for you. And while I don't like to take sides, I want to put it in this way. I am on your side as far as, we want the truth, and we want to be strong people for the people that we love. So I'm on your side when it comes to that 100%. PvP, thank you very much. Hail and well met. I have so many people from Canada that come in and listen. I love Canada. I don't want to get into the politics too much, but I hate that the Canadians feel ostracized like some of them do. We love you guys. We think of you as brothers, and we hope that there is stronger unity, that somehow that we can find an answer to all these silly things that our governments do to us. Dadman Walking, thank you. Hail and well met. You and your wife have some of the most wonderful positive channels. Please check these people out. In fact, I need to go ahead and promote all you creators out there. Gorillas has a wonderful channel. He does some movie reviews and some commentaries. His cigar lounges are really fun. You need to at least make some time for one of them. You will be glad that you did. PvP does a little bit of creating. He often shows up at those cigar lounges. Wonderful human being there. Accounting Sheet does some music, and he does accounting, but he's a great lyricist. Please check out his stuff. And obviously, Dadman Walking and his wife, Mrs. Dadman Walking, they give me hope that marriages might still be a viable thing in our society, and they have really wonderful positive stuff. They won't talk about politics like I do. They talk about cool stuff. I'm trying to kind of batten down on the politics a little bit. Sci-Fi Sits Down, another wonderful creator, also a person that will be on the cigar lounges. Welcome. Check this wonderful human being out and his channel. Resolute Germ is another person with a wonderful channel. He has some Saturday morning cartoons. Make it a point, get up early one of these Saturdays and watch some cartoons with him. Wonderful human being there. Jim's Landscape in Commodore. He gets his haircut, but he does some other things too. He does a lot of Star Trek fan films. They're fun. Go check him out. LDG Free the Net. He is developing an app, and his hope is to free us from the tech overlords that make us work at their bidding. Check him out and see what's going on. He's getting closer day by day. Deep Penzak, hail and well met. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for showing up and for all the kind comments. Connie Cleary, wonderful, faithful bird woman of YouTube, one of the great wrenches out there. She takes really good care of Dino's community with the late night radio shows and things. She also makes wonderful videos of birds and crafts and critters and things. She's just a fun human being. Please check her out and show her channels some love. She also has a second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. Words and Pictures has some content y'all need to check out. Please check this person out. Very intelligent, very I'm having a senior moment for the word that I want to use, but very spiffy person. We'll just go with that. Check that wonderful gentleman out. Show his channel some love. Keep up the great work. Well, in this case, I'd say Matt Cheatwood deserves about 30, 40 to 50% of the credit on this one, because I was just being a silly person. John Ponerera Curtis, next winner of Oklahoma's coveted Silver Sow Award. Ooh, I want that stream. I want that award. The Silver Sow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. I'm going to call it a stream. Love everybody out there. If you get a chance, if you're in northern Oklahoma, let's enjoy ourselves out here. Quit being down on it. Which Matt isn't, but some I have been in the past. My bad. And those of you who've never been here, come and visit. We've got Renaissance festivals and herbal festivals and street biker gangs. I don't know. We've got stuff. So, come on out and enjoy the weather until the tornado blows you away. All right. Haven't come up with a great ending for the Voice of Northern Oklahoma segments, but I love all of you, and I hope you have had a wonderful time and have a wonderful Sunday. God bless you, and goodbye.